Assalamualaikum. My name is Hamizah Binti Haron. Today, my group member and I will present about hydroponic herb project land. Today, I would like to present about my part. My part is introduction, establish project objective, define scope, and estimate activity resource. Introduction. Hydroponic is the activity, the growing of plant in nutrient solution with or without an inert medium such as soil to provide mechanical support. Hydroponic is also known as aquaculture farming. The plants that grow hydroponically do not need fertilizer and soil because the method of cultivation is different from normal cultivation. Cultivation using this hydroponic method only require water and a rich mixture of soluble nutrition in it. Okay. Hydroponic is suitable for herb cultivation as there is no use of chemical fertilizer and soil in this method is of cultivation. Herb has savory or aromatic property that are used for food flavor and decoration, for medical purpose, or for fragrance that do not include vegetable and other plant eaten for micronutrients. Next is establish project objective. The objective of the project is to expand the herbal market within a period of 2 months. The cost charge is around 20,000 ringgit. The expected benefit of this project is to be able to expand the use of herb in food, beverage, and daily supplement. Besides that, to increase the use of herb in traditional and modern medical ingredients, in turn it can reduce the use of fertilizer and chemical fertilizer in the agriculture. In addition, it provides a direct relationship between supplier and customer. Employee also can gain a lot of work experience and knowledge about hydroponic throughout the project. This hydroponic project also can increase motivation among employees throughout the implementation of the project.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning to our lecturer. My name is Norhazlina Binti Abdullah. Today I will present about my part in our project management assignment, which is Hydroponic Herbs Project Lands. So for the first part is define scope. The scope of this project is to meet the needs of customers. The herb cultivation project with hydroponic method works to reduce the extensive land use in agriculture and also reduce the risk of herbaceous plants from being infected from soil pollution. To ensure quality and fresh herbal cultivation before being directly marketed, customer needs can be met. The project team plays an important role in performing key tasks such as planning the planting of herbs that are in high demand in the market. This is to ensure that customers will get the herbs that they need in the market. Our herbal crop yield acceptance criteria have been tested to assist in formulating our agricultural produce. Herbs that we plant in hydroponic, we can produce better results, and also the health of the plants is more reassured. We also use quantitative method to look at problems from customer points of view, and they must be written in the context of actual user experience. So we run herb cultivation projects suitable for hydroponic farming method, such as Matricaceae chamomile, Centella asiatica, Orthosiphon staminis, and also Genera procumbens Beck. Next is the picture of our herbs. As you can see, the first picture is Centella asiatica, and then we have Orthosiphon staminis. The third one is Matricaceae chamomile, And also the last one is Jinura Perkambas bag.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Fatin Binti Nasir. Today I will present our project team, which is Hydroponic Herbs Project Lens. Okay, for the first slide that I will present is about create work breakdown structure, which is WBS. Our activity for Hydroponic Herbs Project Lens is first we have create team and plan project. In create team and plan project, we have another 3 small tasks, which are recruit members. Second is dividing task, and third is write business plan. And for the research and development, we also have 3 another small tasks, which are research on materials required. Second is research on herbs seed, and the lastly is research on nutrients and pH level in water. For the development on development of site, we have 2 small tasks, which are building acquisition and setup of growth promoting ambience. In setup of growth promoting ambience, we also have another 2 small tasks, which are setting up dedicated space and meeting lighting and temperature requirement. For the financial management, we have 3 small tasks, which are capital raising. Second is monitor financial details, and third is investment decision. And for the last activity that we have is monitor, control, and harvesting. In monitor, control, and harvesting, we have 3 small tasks, which are setting up monitoring and control system, harvesting mature herbs, and lastly is setting up packaging and storage. For the next slide is about assign responsibility. In our project team, we have 5 major activities, which is the first is create team and plan project that lead by Hamizah as a primary responsibility and the others as a support responsibility. In create team and plan project, they have another 3 small tasks, which is the first is recruit members that lead by Hamizah too as a primary responsibility and the others as a support responsibilities. And for the dividing task, we have Siti Azlin as a primary responsibility and the others as support responsibility. For the right business plan, Signal Fatin Najuwa as a primary responsibility and the others as support responsibility. For our second activity is research and development that led by Radhwa Waheeda as a primary responsibility and the others as support responsibilities. In research and development, they also have another 3 small tasks, which is the first is research on materials that led by Radhwa Waheeda too as a primary responsibility and the others as support responsibility. For the research on herbs seed that led by Norhazlina as primary responsibility and the others as support responsibility. And for the research on nutrient and pH level in water that led by Siti Azlin as a primary responsibility and the others as support responsibilities. The third activity is development of site that led by Siti Azlin as a primary responsibility and the others as support responsibility. For the in development of site, they have another 2 small tasks, which is the first is building acquisition that led by Nur Fatin Najwa as a primary responsibility and the others as support responsibility. For the setup of growth promoting ambience that led by Hamizah as a primary responsibility and the others as support responsibilities. In setup of growth promoting ambience, they have another 2 small tasks, which is the first is setting up dedicated spaces, which is Radhwa Waheeda as a primary responsibility and the others as support responsibility. And the meeting lighting and temperature requirement that led by Norhazlina as a primary responsibility and the others as support responsibilities. For our fourth activities is financial management, which is Nur Fatin Najwa as a primary responsibility and the others as support responsibility. And in financial management, we have another three small tasks, which is the first is capital raising, that lead by Hamizah as a primary responsibility, and the others as support responsibility. For the second task for financial management is audit, that lead by Najuwa as a primary responsibility, and the others as support responsibility. And for investment decision, these tasks will be led by Norhazlina as a primary responsibility and the others as support responsibility. For the last hour activity is monitor, control, and harvesting, that led by Norhazlina as a primary responsibility and the others as support responsibility. For in monitor, control, and harvesting, we have another three small tasks, which is first is setting up monitoring and control system, that led by Radhwa Waheeda as a primary responsibility and the others as support responsibility. For the harvesting mature herbs, Hamizah as a primary responsibility and the others as support responsibility. And the last task is setting up packaging and storage, that led by Siti Azlin as a primary responsibility and the others as support responsibility.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Radhwa Waheeda Binti Mohd. Now I will present about my part, which is specific activity, critical path, and determine budget for hydroponic herbs project length. First is define specific activity. There are 5 activities for our project. First is create team and plan project. Second is research and development. Third is development of site. Fourth is financial management. And last one is monitor, control, and harvesting. For activity 1, we divide to 3 activity. First is recruit member. We start from advertisement preparation, then interview the members, select of the members. For the second sub activity is the dividing task. Then we will choose team leader, evaluation member skill, divide members by task. For the third sub activity, we write business plan. So we will discuss among members, then write the business plan. Next, for the second activity, research and development, we also divide to 3 sub activity. First is research on material. First, we start with research the hydroponic system, then make blueprint of the hydroponic process, decide on the material needed. For the second sub activity, research on herb seed. Research on the few herb seeds, then choose the herbs, setting up plantation mechanism. Last one is research on nutrient and pH level of water. First is we do research for chosen herbs nutrient, and last one is research for chosen herbs pH level in water. Then for the third activity, develop of site, we divide to 2 sub-activity. First is building acquisition. We will set criteria for site, then procuring the site, set up PVC framework, and installation of the motor. For the second sub-activity, we set up of growth promotion ambience, setting up dedicated space, then meeting lighting and temperature requirement. For the fourth activity, which is financial management, we divide to 3 sub-activity. First is capital raising. We make financial proposal first, then discuss among stakeholders, then capital raising for stakeholder. The second one, we will do audit, which is monitor financial cash flow. And the third one, investment decision. We will discuss among stakeholders about investment, then make decision. Then for the last activity, monitor, control and harvesting, we divide to 3 activities. First is setting up monitoring and control system. We preparing nutrient solution, then control pH level of water, setting up waste and water management system, training of control staff, then set up of pest control system. For the second sub-activity, harvesting mature herbs. We will the harvest mature herbs, then prevention of harvested herbs. Last one is setting up packaging and storage. We will choose suitable packaging, packaging of herbs, then set up a storage.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Siti Azlin with Sujarwo. Today I will present our project team, which is Hydroponic Herb Project Lens. For the first slide, I will present about sequences activity. I will explain first about the box that we use in the box first. We will see activity description, and then the left there is a small box with activity numbers, and the right box with its estimated duration. For sequence activity, it's only explain about activity description and activity number. For example, for our project, in first box is the first activity, which is advertisement preparation. For activity 2 and 3, it will happen at the same time, which is interview and selecting of members. And the person that is responsible for this 3 activity is Hamizah. This is the continue or sequences activity. The last one is estimated activity resource. Resource according to project management can be defined as the people, material, money, facility, and basic thing needed to carry out a project. Resources such as human resource are very much needed throughout the hydroponic herb cultivation project. It shows that resources are very necessary and important to the success of the project. Efficiency in the management of hydroponic herb cultivation project is able to guarantee the success of the project. The estimated use of human resource required in carrying out this hydroponic project is sufficient number of employee in total in each activity. We have assigned the expert employee in the exposition to help new employees. This is the list of estimated activity resource in hydroponic herbland projects. That's all. Thank you.
For this slide is about estimated activity duration. Example, for our first activity is advertisement preparation. We have estimate that these activities will take 2 days to be completed. For second and third activity, as we can see, it happens simultaneously, but takes different duration to be completed. For second activities is interview that will take 2 days to be completed, while third activities is selection of member just only takes 1 day to be completed. For the fourth activities is choose team leader, which is only one day to be completed. And for the 5 and 6 activities, it happened in at the same time, which is the fifth activities is evaluate member skills that will take 5 days to be completed, while 6 activities is divide members by task. It will take 2 days to be completed. As we can see in this network diagram, our longest activities is setting up plantation mechanism that will take 7 days to be completed. Therefore, we have estimated all the activity duration that have been shown on the network diagram. That's all from me. Thank you.
The next slide is develop project schedule. So here I have the calculation for earliest finish. The formula started with yearly start minus we estimated duration. It is calculated forward through the network diagram. 0 represents as the start date. The 0 value come from yearly start minus we estimated duration. The duration is equal to 2 working days of yearly finish. And next, I also have the calculation for latest start. The formula start with latest finish minus with estimated duration. It is calculated backward through the network diagram. 60 days represent as the required completion, which is the latest finish and estimated duration. The duration is 4 working days. The 4 value come from the duration minus the with estimated duration, and we got 56 working days as the latest finish. It's supposed to be 60 days in estimated the project to finish, but the project is not complete in required time since it took 88 days for required completion. Next is our total slack. This is the table that we use to calculate the total slack of our project. The total slack that we got are negative 25, negative 26, negative 27, and negative 28, which the project is not to be done in required time, which is 60 days. This project could not be complete on time because of, first, the quality of the goods. Goods quality problem occur in controlling the pH level of water and test strips pH level. This effect causes the time of the growth to run away from the expected time and can cause a lot of damage during tree growth. Second problem is the weather conditions. The weather condition that cause the electrical blackout that turn off all hydroponic system. The condition of tree seed for healthy growth becomes stunted. If the electric turn off, the root will quickly dry, end up with all of cell damage and dead root mass. The plant will also begin to wilt very quickly. The way to avoid this happen, for quality of wood, first we will use a better and advanced wood such as smart sensor, new professional 3-in-1 multi-parameter water quality tester, monitor portable, pen type pH and easy temperature meter. The quality of these goods can make our project better and faster than usual. This stuff also has many functions that we can use in our project, such as a replaceable electrode probe, ATC function, easy to carry and simple, easy calibration of pH and easy with just a mini screwdriver, and automatic temperature compensation. For the weather condition, we will address this by using a Lesco ceramic heater with an adjustable thermostat. It can also control the warmth of the pans. They are thermostat component, making it easy for us to control the temperature to meet the needs of our plants. This electronic model also has an automatic charge that to prevent overheating and is not affected when the electrical system problem or breakdowns. That's all for me. Thank you.
Then I will present about critical path. Critical path is longer path in the overall network diagram. So this diagram shows a critical path. The highlight one is the critical path for our project hydroponic herbs project land.
Next is our estimate activity cost. For estimate activity cost, we calculate the cost that we use, including the salary of expertise and non-expertise workers, the work days of workers, the machine or equipment cost, material cost, and also the utilities cost. So, for the first activity is advertisement preparation, and the total cost for this activity is 64 ringgit. Second is interview, with the cost 80 ringgit. Third is selection of member with the cost 48 ringgit. And the fourth is choose team leader with the cost 48 ringgit. And next is evaluate member skill with the cost 240 ringgit. Six is divide member by task with the cost 96 ringgit. Seven is discuss among member with the cost 160 ringgit. Eight is write business plan with the cost 288. 9 is research the hydroponic system that we will use with the cost 480 ringgit. 10 is making blueprint of hydroponic process with the cost 144 ringgit. Next is deciding on material that we needed in the project with the cost 2,208 ringgit. 12 is research on few herb seeds that we will use for the hydroponic project with the cost 384 ringgit. 13 is choosing herbs, which is 134 ringgit. Next, the 14 activities. Setting up plantation mechanism with total cost 784 ringgit. 15. Research for chosen herb nutrients with the total cost 324 ringgit. 16 is research for chosen herbs pH level in water, 166 ringgit. 17. Set criteria for site, which is 96 ringgit. 18. Procuring the site, 5,199 ringgit. 19. Set up the PVC framework for our hydroponic system with the cost 448 ringgit. 20. Installation of motors, 448 ringgit. And 21. Setting up dedicated space, also 448 ringgit cost. Next is meeting lighting and temperature requirement with the cost 32 ringgit. 23. Making financial proposal with total cost 96 ringgit. 24th is discussion among stakeholder with total cost 144 ringgit. 25th, capital raising from stakeholders with total cost 96 ringgit. And 26th, monitor financial cash flow also with total cost 96 ringgit. Next, the 27th, discussion among stakeholder with total cost 144 ringgit. 28, decision making, total cost 48 ringgit. Next, 29 is preparing nutrient solution with total cost 128 ringgit. 30, controlling pH level of water with total cost 96 ringgit. 31, setting up waste and water management system with total cost 400 ringgit. Next, 32 is training of control staff with total cost 336 ringgit. The 33 activity, setup of pest control system with total cost 240 ringgit. Next, harvest mature herbs with total cost 960 ringgit. 35th is preservation of harvested herbs, 384 ringgit cost. 36 is choose suitable packaging with total cost of 32 ringgit. 37 is packaging of herbs with total cost 256 ringgit. And the last one The 38 activity is set up a storage with total cost 256 ringgit. So the total of our estimate activity cost is 16,031 ringgit.
For this slide is determine budget. Our hydroponic herbs project land capital is 20,000. From 20,000, we divide to 5 major activity. According to the difficult level of the activity, estimation depends on the price and equipment and workers. So for the first activity, which is create team and plan project, the cost is 1,000. The second one is 6,000. The third activity, major activity is 8,000. For fourth major activity is 1,000 and the last major activity is 4,000. Okay, for the first major activity, we divide to 3 sub-activity. First is recruit member with cost 600, dividing task 100 and write business plan is 300. For the second major activity, we also divide to 3 sub-activity. First is research on material required. The cost is 3,000. Research on herb seed 2,000 and research on nutrient and pH level in water 1,000. Then for the third major activity, we divide to 2 sub-activity. First is building acquisition with cost 6,200. Then set up the gross promoting ambience with cost 1,000. At the same time, we also divide to 2 small activity. First is setting up dedicated space with cost 600 and meeting lighting and temperature requirement with cost 200. For the fourth major activity, which is finance management, we divide to 3 activities. First is capital rising with cost 400. Then monitor financial detail 300. And last one is investment decision with cost 300. For the last major activity, which is monitor, control, and harvesting, we divide to 3 sub-activity. First is setting up monitoring and control system with cost 1,500. For the harvesting mature herbs, the cost is 1,500, and the last one, setting up packaging and storage, the cost is 1,000. Then for the next slide is about table of budgeted costs. The table shows the budgeted cost by period for hydroponic herbs project land within 2 months. Total budgeted cost for this project is 20,000 in total. For the first activity, create team and plan project, we finished until 3 weeks, which is from week 1 until week 3. For the second activity, research and development, we finish also for 3 weeks. Start with week 2 until week 4. For the development of site, also 3 weeks, from week 3 until week 5. And financial management, only 2 weeks, from week 5 to week 6. And the last activity, monitor, controlling, and harvesting, we finish for 3 weeks, from week 6 until week 8. Then for the last slide is about graph cumulative budgeted cost. As we can see, the line of cumulative budgeted cost showing increasing from week 1 until week 8. For activity, create team and plan project, and it take 3 weeks at the cost of 1,000. It's followed by the activity, research and development that takes also 3 weeks to settle it with cost 6,000. Then similarly with activity development of site, it takes 3 weeks from week 3 until week 5 to finish it with cost 8,000. Then for the activity financial management, it only takes 2 weeks, which is from week 5 until week 6 to finish it at the cost 1,000. And lastly, for activity monitor, control and harvesting, take until 3 weeks to settle it, which is week 6, 7 and 8 with cost 4,000. That's all from me for the presentation. Thank you.
Next, we go to risk assessment matrix. We have come up with 3 risks that might happen to our project. The first one is misread on the pH level water. The impact that will happen is, first, plants will lack nutrients, and next is plants will be easily damaged due to spread of disease. The likelihood of occurrence is low, but the degree of impact is medium. Action that might trigger is there is a change in colors and growth of leaf shape and also stunted plants. The people that will hold the responsibility is Siti Norhazlina, and the response plans that we came up with is, first, regularly monitor the pH of water label, and second is use smart sensor to monitor the pH water level. The second risk is electricity supply is cut off. The impact is the roots of the plants will be dry, and also we will have a financial loss. The likelihood of occurrence is medium. However, the degree of impact is high. The action that might trigger is from the power supply was suddenly cut off. And the people that will hold the responsibility in this risk is Norhazlina, which is me. And the response plan that we came up with is, first, use a generator as a backup, and second is repair the electrical box. And the last risk that might happen is weather conditions. The impact of weather conditions to our project is the plant will be too dry or too wet. The likelihood of occurrence is medium. However, the degree of impact is high. The action that might trigger is always checking forecast for weather. The people that we hold the responsibility for this risk is Hamizah. And the response plan that we came up with is, first, develop detailed plan. Second, reserve indoor space. And the last one, using Lesco ceramic heater with an adjustable thermostat. Now is the last part, which is conclusion. There will be 2 benefits from our hydroponic project. The first one is environmental benefits. Hydroponic is the most effective technology for Seremban areas, as there is a lack of fertile and also arable land for crop cultivation. Since hydroponic is not like conventional cultivation method, fresh products can be harvested throughout the years, and also there will be ability to apply plant nutrients in fertilizers directly to the roots without the problems associated with soil's composition or fertilizers' inability to penetrate the root system. And also the other ability is we can apply plant nutrients in fertilizers directly to the roots. And the last one is there is no need for heavy machinery to prepare seed or planting beds. And the most important thing is planting without sparing pesticides. But the weeds and diseases still can be controlled. Next benefits is on economic. The first one is, to begin with, there would be less labor intensive due to the presence of automated controls and harvesting. Second one, the running costs are then kept under control by conserving water and electricity. Next, hydroponics aids in the production of higher quality crops, which can then be used to create a high quality commodity. And the last one is, job opportunities can also be opened up for locals in here. This opportunity will be able to help change the life of those who have difficulty finding work or who are unemployed. That's all from my group. Thank you.